Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Made a video, was it yesterday? Maybe a day ago or two. And I had pulled some king valves off. The king valves were leaking all the way on the tops. Both of the tops were blown out, apparently, the seals. Well, anyway, I replaced it. I straight piped it. And so the other tech that works with me, he got a call today that it's low again. It's freezing up. Well, anyway, he brings his tester over there, his sniffer, and finds it leaking at the filter dryer. So what I want to talk about is this. I mean, now he's going to pull that old filter dryer because it already has one anyway, as I showed in the video. It already had a filter dryer. Goodman usually has one on the inside. So anyway, he's going to straight pipe it, and hopefully there's no more leaks. But the problem is what I want to talk about is when you work in apartments, a lot of times you're trying to save them some money by fixing these little problems. And you got this 1983 air handler, and you got this probably 10, 15-year-old condenser unit outside, and then you got 30-year-old line sets. In a corporation, it looks bad if you have to keep going back to something. Even though you're trying to save them money, they don't understand it. Corporations never understand that kind of stuff. They only see the bottom line. So the best thing for you to do sometimes when you've got something that old is try to convince them to just replace the inside and the outside. Because in other words, you're going to go back again. You always are. I put in an air handler and left the old condenser unit on another apartment and got it running great, put the right size piston in for it and running like a champ. I'm walking the dog. Lady sees me and says it's not running again. And she's still getting hot in her apartment. I said, oh, God. So anyway, I go inside. It's auto. It's on cool, Go outside and the condenser unit's not running fan nor the compressor. So I knew right then we had a power problem. And I was praying to God it wasn't the breaker box going bad like we've had before in this place. But anyway, it turned out that the breaker was bad. I was showing about 145 on the contactor when you need 247 to turn the motor and the compressor, but the fan motor. So anyway, I didn't have a breaker with me, so I just straight wired it, pushed it back in the box, which that gave me all the power I needed. But then the capacitor was bad. So here I was with two problems because it's an old unit. No big deal. It's running now. There's no problems. But who's to say it's not going to develop a leak before it's over with? So then I'm going to be changing the condenser unit anyway. The smart move in this business, if you can, is convince your managers and them that to get rid of it. We got units out there right now that you can charge them up. It'll show low, 20 pounds on it, and then you charge it up to the proper poundage, and the next day it's over pressurized because it's got these old 1983 air handlers that don't match the system outside. So a lot of times it's better to convince them to get rid of it so that you don't have to keep doing this over and friggin' over again. Working on these old units. I've changed dozens out here. And the only reason I've done it, I'd rather not. I'd rather just patch things up. But in the long run, every time you go back, the corporation's up there because they know nothing. They know nothing but paperwork. They don't do no work like this out here. They think that you don't know when you lose your credibility. Let's put it that way. All of a sudden, your credibility goes right out the window. Even though your ideal is you're saving them money. Well, sometimes the corporation just got to spend money. They ain't got no choice. And so, don't lose your credibility. But when you got one that the pan's rusted, the drain pan, it's basically a rust bucket and rattling, you need to convince them to get rid of it. Go ahead and put something new in there. Be done with it. That way, that's one less unit that you're going to be on call at on a Saturday or Sunday. I know this Saturday and Sunday, I was on call for ACs. And every one of them's the old air handlers. They're all the same problem. I correct them by putting a new air handler and right piston in it. But that doesn't, it's still sooner or later something else is going to go wrong. It's going to spring a leak somewhere. Something's going to happen and you start losing your credibility. So the best thing to do, if you can, convince your managers and then corporate offices that you've got to replace inside and out. And I'm sorry to say, I've had to replace a lot of line set on different companies because it's 1983, some of them 45-year-old line sets. I mean, I've had them bust, putting R410A on it, and the line set would bust. So I'd have to weld up that spot, and pray to God that the rest of the line set holds up. So don't compromise yourself. You're the maintenance guy. If they don't trust you, then you don't need to be there. That's all I got to say. You guys have a good day.